welcome Rotarians and guests to the 5,458th meeting of the Rotary Club of San Jose. We were greeted today by the Military Care Committee, co-led by Megan Tennisketter and Brad Barron. Where are you? Give me a big shout out here. Where are you? Wonderful. You'll be hearing a little bit more from them in a little bit. All right, guest introductions. I know we've got some great guests in the audience today, as we always do. Red Badgers with microphones. I believe we have Ryan Sebastian and Vivian Tran. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes. All right, introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about you.
Hi, Vivian Tran with Hoover Kopelka LLP, Family Law Attorneys. My host is Sergeant Iran, and I'm with Community Outreach.
Glad you're here, Vivian.
My name is Ryan Sebastian with Movable Feast. My sponsor is Janica Clem.
Wonderful. If we have visiting Rotarians or Rotarians with guests, please stand so we can quickly identify you. Looks like we've got one right there. Ryan, you're up with Mike.
Oh, hi. Mike Anning, Mosaic Mortgage Group. My guest is Leslie Lang, her second visit, and today she's a stand-up comedian.
Love it.
Next week, she'll be a real estate agent.
Oh, and it looks like now she's a sit-down comedian. Ah. Someone save me. Barbara Marshman, save me.
Barbara Marshman. My sponsor was Elizabeth Monley ages ago. My husband, Will Marshman, is my guest. We're here for our buddy Mark.
Hi, Will. Great to see you in the room again. Hi, Kirk.
Hi, President Heather. This is Kirk Wallachevich. I'm here with James Leventhal from the San Jose Institute of Contemporary Art.
Wonderful to see you. One of these days I'm going to run a contest. Anyone who can correctly spell Kirk's last name, I'm going to give you a bottle of Burt's wine. All right. Ron Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, President Heather. Ron Gonzalez, Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley, and I'm pleased to introduce Cynthia Marquez, who is one of our team members with the foundation.
Thank you for bringing a guest. Welcome. Hi, my brother from another mother, Dan Orloff.
President Heather. I am, what am I? Orloff Marketing, Pruneyard Cinemas, and I'm introducing my brother, San Jose's newest resident, Mike Orloff.
Welcome. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve Preminger, sponsored by Rod Diridon. Happy to introduce my brother, Ken Preminger.
Look at you. Hi. I was looking for the family. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Andy Rotterman. I'm with the Rotary Club of Santa Clara, and just here to hear a great speaker, so thank you very much.
Welcome, Andy. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Souza, here to introduce my guest, Ellen Fossey, who is with Open Doors to Future Possibilities.
Welcome, Ellen. Oh, hi, Dagmar.
Hi, I'm Dagmar Schildwach. My sponsor is Richard Arjluni, and I just saw him, so he's here. And I'm happy to introduce my best friend, Claudia Orellana, who is an almost lifelong 49ers fan and season ticket holder.
Fantastic. Welcome to Rotary. Looks like I've got Johnny Camps. He's texting. What are you doing?
No, I'm
Couldn't
not
we find
texting.
you?
Honestly, I'm just trying to make sure I get this information correct.
All right,
because
I won't find you.
we have two new members with paperwork in hand for membership. Anya Gahan and Catherine Pendleton, who are co-owners of Anya and Cat Digital Media Consulting. So they're going to be our newest members soon.
Well, thank you so much. We look forward to having our membership committee review those. Hey, Tom Bondi.
Hi, President Heather. My guest today is my wife, Laurel Bondi, who's also Vic Corsilia's daughter.
Wonderful. Love the family table.
Hi, President Heather. Blake Ward here. My sponsor is Helen Lambert, and I brought my folks today so they can see me get my blue badge, baby!
Excellent! Hashtag Rotary, hashtag Blake, hashtag Team Blake, hashtag Go Parents. No, just kidding. All right. Who else we got here? Is that it? Well,
No,
I've
one
got a
more.
guest today. Oh,
One more.
hi,
Heather.
Catherine.
Sorry, we were a little late running from the food line over. I'm here to introduce my brother, Mike Sarmelli, who we're all native San
hi,
Jose.
Brother
so
Mike.
Proud to be here.
Welcome. Great. I have brought a guest today, the CEO of Jewish Silicon Valley, Daniel Klein. Want to give us a wave? Wonderful. All right, does that wrap up our, Tim, you've got one? All right, looks like Tim Hegstrom needs a microphone down in front. We need a microphone in the front, if it's possible. We're going to get there.
It's always good to have the microphone. It's my pleasure today to have 3 Rotaractors join me at the table here. This is part of the San Jose State Rotary Liaison effort to get the Rotaract Club back and flourishing at San Jose State. And so I'm going to have these 2 ladies introduce themselves.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Kimberly, and I'm a 3rd year at San Jose State, and I'm excited to be part of Rotary and meet you all.
Hi everyone, I'm Devashri. I'm a 1st year at San Jose State, and we're excited to come to more meetings and get to know everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the Vice President's here in the back.
Usually this room, when someone says San Jose State, we say, there you go, that's the welcome we wanted. Okay, I think I'm cleared for guests, correct? Oh, one more guest.
Hello everyone, I'm Kamran, nice to meet you all. I'm the Vice President at San Jose State Rotaract Club, and go Spartans. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much for so many guests in the room. All right, we've got some, we're going to have some Blue Badge presentations. If Bien Duan, Johnny Camus, Ahmad Thomas, and Blake Ward can make your way up to the stage, we want to recognize you. I really should keep Jeff at the piano for these interludes, like the Letterman show. It's been a while. Johnny Camus, welcome to Blue Badge. We'll do a quick photo and then go on your way.
We did it. Congratulations.
Councilmember Duan, I'm so excited to present this to you. Your mom's really far away. She really should be closer for this. Blake Ward, everybody.
I did it! Yes!
And Ahmad Thomas.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. That is such an exciting time. So many of you. We have a backlog of Red Badgers, by the way. We have over 24 just in my president year alone that you haven't even met yet. And then for those that have, they're about to turn over to Blue Badge, we look forward to introducing you to the club with your official Blue Badge. For those that might not know what that means, the Red Badge is your first year in Rotary, and you get to learn so much about our 50 different committees, service projects, ways to get involved, and then after 1 year, you get your Blue Badge. Oh, this is the best. New member introduction. Come on up, please, Matt Bell and Roxana.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Roxana Khan, also known as Roxy. She comes from an immigrant Pakistani family, grew up in Gridley, California, as the only sister among 5 brothers. Her family worked in the fields until her father became a labor contractor and her mother opened a small Pakistani grocery store. As their business flourished, her family acquired a peach farm and her family inherited a rice farm, allowing Roxy to grow up in a close-knit community of just 7,400 people. In 2012, while working at U.S. Bank in Gridley and pursuing her college education, Roxy began her Rotary journey with the Gridley Rotary Club. She engaged in various community projects like highway cleanup and serving on the Rotary Scholarship Committee. After earning her bachelor's degree in business management with a minor in marketing, Roxy transitioned to the nonprofit sector as the marketing director of a foster agency. Most recently, let me share this. had a lot of experience with Rotary there, opening many doors for her. She served on the Orchard Hospital Foundation Board as finance chair, ran for city council, and unfortunately lost, and held a 2-year position of the Gridley Planning Commission. So you can see a very active member of her community. She then relocated to Roseville to manage the operations for that agency and build community relations, which led her to join the Roseville Rotary Club. There, she contributed in initiatives for like Miles for Smiles, a dental program for low-income families, chaired the Book Buddies program, and led marketing efforts for the Taco Throwdown fundraiser. Roxy currently serves as Director of Individual Giving at Bill Wilson Center, how we became acquainted, and runs a small marketing business, White Rose Marketing, where she specializes in helping small business owners overcome social media marketing challenges. So if you need any of that help. She visits her mom in Gridley almost every weekend and enjoys spending time with her family. She enjoys frequent trips to Disneyland, reading, and anything that may spark her interest. Will you all please give a warm welcome to our newest member, Roxana Khan.
I just want to thank everybody for a warm and humble welcome to the San Jose Rotary Club. Thank you.
All righty, wonderful. Newest member of the 9th largest club in the world. All right, Rotary Club in the world. Next up, Military Care Committee with Megan Tennisgetter. Oh, and Brad too. Sorry, Brad.
And Brad Barron.
This thing.
Okay, Military Care Committee, we are, our mission is service to active duty military personnel and veterans, and we've got an exciting couple of events coming up that we want to let you guys know about so you can participate. I do not know how to, okay, I'm getting there. Okay, on Monday, November 11th, the Veterans Day Parade is happening here in downtown San Jose. The Military Care Committee will have a hospitality tent, and we also have a trolley so that we will participate in the parade. The hospitality tent, oh, I keep doing that. Oops, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I'm new at this. Okay, our hospitality tent will be across from the SAP Arena at Arena Green, and close to where the parade will start. The ceremony for the parade starts at 11 o'clock a.m., and the parade starts after that around noon. And we would like to invite all of you Rotarians to be involved. This is our trolley, and you can either ride on the trolley or walk with the trolley. And you don't have to be a veteran to participate, but so we invite everyone to come on down. Not only is the Military Care Committee involved, but we've got so much Rotarian involvement with the Veterans Day Parade. Sal Pizarro is going to be the MC. Our new Red Badger retired Colonel Ray Watts is organizing the parade with the Military Officers Association. And really cool too, Sarah Klisch and the members of the Mission Valley Chorus are going to be singing the national anthem. So you got to come out and check this out. It's going to be amazing. I do want to say, if you have a downtown business or work in a downtown business, come out and invite your companies to be spectators at the parade. We'd like to see everyone there. This is the largest Veterans Day Parade, and it's been going on since 1919, largest Veterans Day Parade in Northern California. It almost didn't happen, and through the involvement of a lot of Rotarians in this room, it is happening. So please come on down. Sign-ups for the trolley are out in the lobby, and I'm going to hand it over to Brad to talk about Wreaths Across America.
Thanks. Good afternoon. So definitely come out for the Veterans Day Parade because it almost didn't happen, and your Rotary Club has been instrumental in making it happen. So show up and enjoy it. Wreaths Across America is our second big event of the fall. That will happen December 14th, where we will be laying wreaths on the graves of veterans at Oak Hill Memorial Park. All of you are welcome. You can come out and lay wreaths. You can donate wreaths. We've got a table out there. We can tell you more about it, but please try to make it. It's a great event. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I love their choreographed exit. That was great. Lenore Key, come join us and tell us about the Thanksgiving program, one of our favorite programs of the year. Hello, we've got the Bob Keeve Thanksgiving program coming up on November 20th. If you're not familiar with the program, my dad started it in 1997, and it's been a tradition every year since. A group of Rotarians gets up and they tell us what makes them thankful in 2 minutes or less. We do have a few spots open, so if you're interested, please grab me here at the meeting or email me at lenkeeve@gmail.com. And once you show interest, I will send you instructions written by my dad, Bob Keeve himself. Thank you. Next up, Sandra Jewett with a polio update. That's such Bob Keeve's daughter. That was like a minute, Lenore. Excellent.
Well, hello, everyone. Last week I was here to talk about polio. I gave you some stats. I wanted you to know that we raised $11,505 last Wednesday. With a 2-to-1 match, that's $34,515. Very nice. Or 54,525 vaccines. Can you imagine? That is a little bit bigger than the size of Campbell. Just think about that. That's amazing. Anyway, last week we talked about the second vaccine dose. So far, the goal was 591,700 kids that needed to be vaccinated under the age of 10. The count is 442,855 children that were vaccinated in the last 7 days. But we need to still vaccinate in Gaza 148,845 children. So please help. The battle is not over yet, and we still need to think about 0 cases. With that, I have a little video that...
In 1988, over 350,000 children were paralyzed by polio. Today, there are fewer cases in fewer places than ever before. So on World Polio Day, I want to say thank you. Thank you to the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, a partnership between the World Health Organization, the United States CDC, UNICEF, and Rotary International. Thank you to countries around the world whose dollars support these immunization campaigns. Thank you especially to the frontline workers who are on the ground fearlessly delivering life-saving treatments day after day. A polio-free world is possible, and together we can win this fight.
I'd like to especially thank those donors for $100 or less last week, and also those who donated above $100. And the opportunity cannot be missed without asking you if you feel it in your heart to make one last donation. You can scan the code there. You'll get a pin if it's over $100. I have some in my purse, so I'm ready and able to pass them out. So thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you for your leadership, Sandra. I think we've got next up Brian Adams with some trick or treat. Oh, there he is, Brian Adams.
Hello, President Heather. That's all right. I'll wait for applause. Thank you so much. I only have 90 seconds. Sit down, please. Please be seated. It's Halloween tomorrow, and I thought we'd do our version of trick or treat, which really means true or false. So I'd like to encourage some folks to participate. I've got lovely gifts. So no candy, but I do have Halloween stickers that you can actually re-gift if you'd like. I'm all about the re-gifting. It is a sticky situation either way. The answers are legit. I found them in Reader's Digest, so yes, you're all going to have indigestion today. Here we go. Carl Salas, thank you for volunteering. Here we go. Trick or treat, true or false. Cabbage was once thought to have supernatural powers on Halloween. true. Speaking of indigestion, and it is true. That's a treat. Stickers, baby. All right, Mike, how about you, buddy? All Saints Day is November 2nd. True or false? All Saints Day is November 2nd.
True.
I'm sorry, it's false. When is All Saints Day? November 1st. We have a few good Catholics in the room today. All Souls Day is November 2nd. So we will all pray for you, Mike. But everyone's a winner on, I got a call on Matt here. Here we go. Witch Hazel Eve. Witch Hazel Eve, you know Witch Hazel, is another name for Halloween. Witch Hazel Eve. Is it another name for Halloween? No. You're right. It is false. What is the other name for Halloween?
All Hallows Eve.
You got it very good. Oh my God. Pardon me. Dan Orloff. Don't embarrass yourself in front of your brother today. Candy corn was originally referred to as chicken feed.
Yes.
That's right. You would know that.
Well, thank you.
Chicken feed, that was my salary when I worked for Orloff Williams back in... How are we doing on time? Do I have a couple minutes? All right.
You got
Matt, Matt, true or false, trick or treat? Jamie Lee Curtis has appeared in 7 Halloween movies. True or false, trick or treat?
False. I think it's like 10.
No, it's true. 7, it is. But you know what? I love you, so you get stickers anyway. All right, here it is. This is the final question.
Yay!
All right, Stu. The Omen tops the Rotten Tomatoes. You know Rotten Tomatoes, right? The rating service. The Omen tops the Rotten Tomatoes list of the scariest horror movie ever. True or false? False. That's correct. False. Do we know what it is? Yes, The Exorcist. You get the stickers. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Fantastic, Brian Adams. All right. Well, it is President's time, and I just have a minute. I have a lot of fun finds, but I'm going to have to defer most of them to next week because we've got to get our speaker on here. Is Ginger Sotelo in the room? Where is she? Microphone, please, to Ginger Sotelo. Ginger, I don't know what's going on here. I think we got to have a little chit-chat here front. It looks like you're having a fabulous time with Larry Stone, who is clearly wearing his, Larry Stone. Thank you. Wearing his rotary pin, and there you are, having a great old time. What the heck's going on? Where's your rotary pin, sweetie?
I think I left it in the car.
Left it in the car. You know, that's a finable offense. What do you think?
That's a finable offense.
I all agreed? $100 for that?
Yes.
All right, $100 to the foundation. All right. Let's never catch it again. You know, I could do an additional fine for being with Larry Stone. I could do that, but I won't.
Well, I would just say it was a great event at the Hispanic Charity Ball. Thank you, Ron, for another great event.
Wonderful. Thank you. Right. I need to skip through the next finds. I'll do the fun finds next week. Thank you so much for playing along. You guys have been great about sending some photos in. We've got to get to our speaker, so let's get Larry Stone up on this stage. You betcha. There we go.
A public service announcement. December 10th is the final day to pay your property taxes before penalty. Yeah, okay. Now that the speaker's profile is printed in the Rotary Bulletin each week, there's no longer a need to recite it in the introduction. So I have a couple of interesting facts about Mark that you did not read in the bulletin. Mark's professional sports writing career began before his senior year at Salina, Ohio, where he was a mediocre backup quarterback for the Salina Bulldogs, playing behind a classmate who earned a Division I scholarship. He was also writing for the school newspaper, which was printed at the same place as the town newspaper, the Salina Daily Standard. The sports editor approached him and said, "Purdy, I've seen you play and I've seen you write. You write much better than you play. So why don't you quit the team and come and work for me on Friday nights covering other high school sports? I'll pay you $15 a story." Mark took about 5 seconds to say, "I accept." Every sports writer craves his or her own unique path, covering different events and interviewing different people. Mark was really lucky that his own unique path had some great turns, some experiences. Having lunch with Muhammad Ali, playing golf with Neil Armstrong, and coming face to face with Fidel Castro at a Cuban bowling alley. Not to mention all the Bay Area personalities he has met and interviewed along the way. Joe Montana and Joey Chestnut, to name two. 3 of those I was also lucky to experience: Muhammad Ali, Fidel Castro, and Joe Montana. Please welcome Mark Purdy.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate you asking me out here today. I always appreciate everything this club has done for the city where I live and the community I cherish here. I am here today, was invited here today to talk about this new book I wrote, and I am really eager to talk about it because it was a really fun and exciting project, and I know I'm not supposed to talk about where you can buy it, but you can buy it here after the speech. But I've sold a lot beforehand. I have a few left. But if not, I'm also not going to mention that I'm doing a book signing at Books Inc. next month if you don't get it. And you can also order on Amazon or at Barnes & Noble. Okay, that's the plug. I was not actually looking to write this book. I see a lot of friendly faces in the room, and a lot of you over the years. I retired in 2017. I've said, "You ought to write a book," and my answer is always, "Who would want to buy it?" Right? I'd write about myself, and I don't really like to do that. But I started noodling on that and was working on that, and then this publisher called me up and said, "Hey, I've got an idea for you. I'm a publisher of books." He was from St. Louis, about history books. History books about cities, history books about events, and we're starting to write history books. We're starting to do history books about sports. And I hear, you might be interested, you'd be a good guy to write about the San Francisco 49ers history. And they explained the concept. It's a coffee table book, more than 200 pictures. I did 60,000 words about the history of the San Francisco 49ers. And I wanted to make it not just, I didn't want to write and then on third down book, I didn't want to write just about the football itself. In the book, we cover all the great moments of the 49ers over the years and some of the heartbreaks. But I also kind of want to write about the cultural history of the team because I think we don't often think of, history as involving sports franchises. But the 49ers over the years have intertwined with Bay Area culture when you think about it, and I want to get some of that too, and I want to be able to have a book that parents could go over with their kids and talk about the history of the team and how it happened and some of the great moments. So I hope we succeeded. I worked with a guy named Jeff Cease who had done these kind of books before, and he went through thousands of pictures to come up with some great photos. Some of them I'm going to show you today. Some of the stuff on my presentation, the pictures are not in the book, but I wish they were, but we had to edit out some. But the stories, I want to just tell the story of the team, starting at the beginning. And the great part is, today I kind of focus this on moments that involve the South Bay, involve San Jose, that maybe you didn't know about. So I'm going to start that today. I'm going to see if I can, and I got to cover 80 years in 20 minutes, which is 15 seconds a year. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go over some highlights and tell you maybe some stuff you didn't know. And I'm told that if I push this, yeah, good. I call this more historic than you think for the reason I said. You don't think about the 49ers maybe being a historic thing like some of our other institutions, but they really are, because this is where they started. Is this mic working? Is this working? Can I turn it on? Can you hear me? Yeah, good. Anybody recognize this? This is where the 49ers really started. It's the Santa Clara University campus in 1928. All right? In 1928, in this dorm here, were two freshmen. One was named Tony Morabito, and the other was named Al Rufo. And, oops, what happened? What did I do? Oh, there. Oh, there. Here they are. I spent a day and a half in the Santa Clara archives tasting this down, so I'm really proud of these. Are yearbooks. This is Mr. Whoa. Are we on a... Oh, it's moving. Okay. This is Tony Morabito, lower right of this quadrant, and this is Al Rufo, lower right of this quadrant. They had never met each other, but on this first day of school, Morabito comes down to that lawn that was pictured there in front of the church, and with a football, which in those days is kind of a big puffy thing, and is looking around. Anybody want to play catch? Anybody play keep away? And Al Rufo, another freshman, says, "Yeah, I'll do that." Comes up, they introduce each other for the first time. They start throwing the football. They start talking about football, how much they love football, and wouldn't it be great to have a team of our own one day, you know? And that conversation essentially continued through their 4 years at Santa Clara U. How do I know this? I was really fortunate. I'm sure there's some people in this room who remember Al Rufo. He was a member of the club probably, right? Yes. Okay. Before he passed away in 2002, I interviewed him, and I was actually interviewing about something else, but then he started telling me the story about all this. I said, I'm going to save this, I'm going to need it, and I did. But here's something else I found in that yearbook. If you see here, this is Al Rufo, and the guy next to him is a guy named Dutch Hammond. Anybody remember? Dutch Hammond was the city manager of San Jose, who essentially changed San Jose forever in terms of annexing property and building it into the city it is today. Rufo is next to him. Rufo eventually became San Jose's mayor. Here they are in the student government of Santa Clara back in early 1930s. So here's what happened. So Rufo and Morabito stay friends. Morabito makes a lot of money in the lumber transport business, and by the early 40s is doing very well there. Rufo is his company attorney. They're sitting around the office in San Francisco one day, and Morabito comes in and says, you know, we always talked about having that team for us, you know, Al, maybe now's the time. What do you think? Al says, great idea. And so Morabito gets $25,000 together. Rufo is the company attorney, draws up the corporation papers for the team. They go to Chicago, try to get in the NFL. The commissioner there at that time was a guy named Elmer Layden, one of the Notre Dame Four Horsemen, if you know football history. And he essentially shines them on. Where are you guys from? San Francisco. Where's that? Because in those days, the NFL was just these teams on the top. And they did not go to the West Coast. They did, this is 1946, they did when, okay, so he says, well, who are you guys? Why? He basically says, get lost. Morabito's pissed off, and he says to Al, what are we going to do? Down the street, they go to the Chicago Tribune office where there was a sports editor named Arch Ward, very famous guy in my business, that started the baseball all-star game. And he was putting together a new league for these other pissed off people that couldn't get in the NFL. It was called the All-America Football Conference, and that's where the 49ers joined up and became part of this rogue league, the All-American Football Conference. At that point, the NFL decided Cleveland Rams should move to L.A. and became the L.A. Rams. And at that point, Paul Brown stepped in and started the Cleveland Browns. Anyway, so this is what pro football looked like in 1946. So great, Morabito and Rufo have a team. Now what do? Whoops. They need a coach. They hire Buck Shaw, who was the football coach at Santa Clara. He becomes the 49ers' first coach, and they need team colors. What team colors do they pick? Red and gold of Santa Clara team colors, right? So the 49ers really started out of Santa Clara, and they needed a place to play. Kezar Stadium in Golden Gate Park has an interesting backstory. It's in the book. I can't go over it all today, but basically it was built by money donated by an heiress named Mary Kezar, who never saw a football game, didn't care about football, wasn't interested in football. But when she died, she left this money to the city, and her heirs decided, you know, it would be great, Mary would love a football stadium. So they built this stadium in Golden Gate Park, but the park commissioners didn't want a stadium in the middle of their park, so they shoved it down there in the southeast corner of, it's in the book. And here are your first 1946 San Francisco 49ers. Top row, second from the left, it's Al Rufo. Al Rufo in the late 40s had 3 jobs, maybe 4, right? He was the company attorney for the 49ers, he was an assistant coach for the 49ers, and he was mayor of San Jose, all at the same time. I don't know how he did that, but he did. And here are the team. The big star was number 63, Frankie Albert from Stanford. He made $10,000. Everybody else in the team, average salary was $4,500. Back in 1946, probably not too bad, but these guys were all, 30 of these 34 guys were war veterans, World War II war veterans. They signed a lot of them coming out of the service. In some cases, sent contracts to like where they were still serving in Okinawa or whatever. And most of them local guys, Stanford, Cal, San Jose State. And they were okay, not great. You can read about the records in the book. But right from the start, the 49ers, I think, tapped into the Bay Area's quest to be diverse and accept people. The guy on the right is a guy named Wally Yonamin. I didn't know much about him before I wrote this book. He was the first Asian American pro football player. He was of Japanese ancestry from Hawaii. And in 1947, the 49ers signed him, and he played for them principally as a punt returner. Must have been a really good athlete because he quit after that year to go be a pro baseball player. But when you think about this, the war had just ended a couple years earlier. The 49ers are employing an Asian American as a punt returner and a player. The guy on the left is Joe Perry. Joe Perry was the first African American 49er. And really one of the first in pro football. There's a complicated history of black players in pro football, but Tony Morabito found him. Like I said, a lot of these guys were from the service. Tony Morabito found him playing for a service team in the Alameda. Went over there, got a tip, and saw this guy. Wow, he's really fast, he's great. Signs him up, and his nickname was the Jet, Joe the Jet Perry, because when they were practicing and Frankie Albert would try to hand off the ball to him, Perry was so fast he'd go through the line, and the ball wasn't, Albert's with the ball, Perry's over here, and Albert looks up at the sky, a jet's going overhead, this is the story, says, Joe, you're as fast as that jet. A nickname was born, and Joe the Jet Perry became a Hall of Famer with these gentlemen. This is what was known as the $1 million backfield, okay? These 4 guys were really what I think got the 49ers started as a popular team in the Bay Area. You got to remember at that time, college football may be more popular, and Major League Baseball, of course, although there was no team here. Anyway, this is the $1 million backfield. Left is Hugh McElhaney, then Joe the Jet Perry, Y.A. Tittle, John Henry Johnson. These guys were fantastic. They're still the only time all 4 players from the same backfield reached the Pro Football Hall of Fame. All the 4 of those guys are in the Hall of Fame. And they were great on offense, but they didn't have much defense. So the 49ers decided to draft this guy, Leo Namalini. Leo the Lion Namalini. Anybody remember him? And he played both ways, every down. But in those days, this was what was fun about writing the book, finding out all this stuff. In those days, pro football players, they made okay money, but not a lot. And so Namalini had this big personality, had been a wrestler in college, so he decided to become a pro wrestler too. He made more money as a pro wrestler than he did playing pro football. He sold out the Cow Palace on several occasions. We have a great photo in the book of him, an action photo of him. He beat a guy named, Stu, you're going to help me, Lou Thez was the world champion. Namalini beat him at the Cow Palace, except, go figure, there was a disqualification, a controversy, and he was stripped, Leo was stripped of the title. This is guy on the left, number 79, Bob St. Clair. I have stuff about him in the book. You can see he was 6'9", such a huge man. He was a San Francisco native, played high school ball at Kezar because he played at Poly High across the street, played college ball at Kezar at USF, and then for the 49ers. But he became a big personality, not just because he was big, because he was a real eccentric character. His calling card was he ate raw meat. He loved to eat raw meat, like every meal. And they would go out and they would serve him like raw liver with a blood on the side. And I asked him, I got to know some of these guys later on after they'd retired, and I said, was this just for show, right? They go, no, he really loved eating raw meat. That was his trademark. And also, he was a tough guy. Those long legs, he put shin pads on the front and the back so that when he whip blocked, he could knock guys down. But one of my favorite stories is, so he was a very recognizable figure. He'd drive from Kezar Stadium back to his home like in the sunset, and people, if he had a bad game, people would be on the street corners taunting him, right? So one time he pulls over and is tired of this, gets out and starts wailing away on these guys on the sideline. The police come and go, what's going on here? Oh, Bob, oh yeah, okay, Bob, you can go. And they arrest the guys that, yeah. So I love stories like that. Pro football, a little different then. We move ahead. A lot of people don't realize the 49ers were the first team to use the shotgun offense. The guy on the left was Red Hickey. He came up with it as kind of an emergency thing in a game against Baltimore, and decided he'd put the quarterback back far in the line, back farther in the line than just the regular single wing, so that the pass rushers would have a hard time getting to him. And he didn't have a name for it, and then the writers asked him about it, and he said, well, I call it the spread wide back. They said, that's not really colorful. Come up with something else, Red. And he said, well, I'm from Arkansas. We go out hunting. We use a shotgun. We'll call it the shotgun. And that's how the shotgun offense started. As we know, later made famous by the Dallas Cowboys. A picture on the right is R.C. Owens. Here's another historic thing. R.C. Owens, N.Y. Tittle, the quarterback, came up with this play where basically R.C. Owens runs the end zone. He was a basketball player in college, and Tittle just threw the ball as high as possible, and Tittle caught it. They called it the alley-oop play. And to this day, in basketball, the alley-oop play. And now it's kind of called the fade, but still, part of football today, historic. Now, this is really historic because here's what happens. Tony Morabito, the original owner, has this horrible thing happen where he dies has a heart attack during the game, and dies during the game. Stories in the book about how doctors warned him, sell the team because you're too emotional, but he dies during the game. His brother Vic ends up running the team, and then Vic dies of a heart attack, and that means these two women at the bottom of the picture here, the two widows of the Morabitos, Josephine and Jean Morabito, end up owning the team for 14 years. They were the first women to own a pro football team. Very historic, very historic, and she had a nice hat, that woman. The guys behind, that's Joe Perry on the left, Leo Namalina on the right. They're smiling because they know who signs their paychecks. I talked about how how the culture of the Bay Area integrates with football, with pro football and sports. During the Summer of Love, it must have been wild. Anybody here go to a game at Kezar? Yeah. Oh, wow, you should be up here. Was as crazy as people said, a lot of drunks and so forth. But it's amazing to me, during the Summer of Love, you had all the hippies next door, smoking dope, and then then the beer-drinking 49er crowds. So everything I've heard, everybody got along somehow. I guess everybody was having a real good time. The guy in the middle is Dave Kopay. He historic, first NFL player to come out as gay. He did it after he retired, a year or two after he retired, but everybody on the team knew he was gay, including the guy on the right, Charlie Kruger, who was a really tough guy. And after Kopay retired, he wrote a book about his experiences being gay, playing in the NFL. He cited Kruger as everybody in the locker room knew Dave was gay, but Kruger was the guy who stood up for him and made sure, the other guys didn't demean him for it. And I just found that part interesting. Again, that's in the book. I don't have time to go over everything today. Then they moved to Candlestick Park. Candlestick Park on the left is a baseball park. Now that's on the right is a football. They basically converted a bad baseball park into a bad multi-purpose stadium. I won't go over all that. They put AstroTurf in it. It was terrible for years before they replaced that. But then we get to, I'm skipping over a lot of things, obviously. We get to what everybody probably in this room thinks about when they think about the 49ers. The era with Eddie DeBartolo as the owner. He hires Bill Walsh. There's an interesting story about that. And that's how we got to everybody's favorite 80s dynasty. I put up the wrong slide. I'm sorry. It is an 80s dynasty, but it's this 80s dynasty everybody remembers, right? With Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, and Dwight Clark. I'm having to rush through this. Many stories about that. Ronnie Lott's saga in particular is interesting, how he, at one point, he has a choice of either keeping playing or having a finger amputated, and he decides to have the finger amputated. That's quite a story. And then, of course, Dwight Clark with the catch there on the left. There's an interesting backstory about that, about how Walsh, the summer before, had practiced this play with Montana and Clark, and they're out on the practice field in the heat of Rockland and going, why are we practicing this? We're never going to use this. And, of course, it becomes the most famous play in 49er history, leading to that first Super Bowl victory there on the right. Why was the 49ers the team of the 80s? This explains it. Four appearances in the Super Bowl, 4 wins. No one matched that. The Redskins came the closest. But look, the other people, were just left in the wake of the 49ers then. This guy was a big help, Roger Craig. History again, first NFL player to gain 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. To this day, only 2 others have done that. One is Marshall Faulk, and the other is Christian McCaffrey. He did it with Carolina, not with the 49ers. And now we get to 1984 Super Bowl. Anybody at that game? Yeah, okay. A couple of historic things about that. One is, it was Stanford, which was a really bad stadium, right? Funny stories. The NFL sends in their advance guy, Jim Steig. I interviewed him about this, and he comes in like 6 or 8 months earlier and looks at Stanford Stadium, dirt below, wooden seats with splinters, marijuana growing up through the student section seeds had been planted there during the previous football season. Calls up Pete Rozelle and says, we got a problem here, Pete, what are we going to do? And Pete says, well, maybe we can get cushions on those seats. Can we get anybody to buy cushions for those seats? Steig says, I don't know, let me ask around. This is 1983, really, 84. And somebody at Stanford says, well, there's this newish company down the road, Apple. Maybe they would be interested. Steig, according to him, as he told me, he walks in and he doesn't even make an appointment. He goes in and knocks, and can I see Mr. Jobs? Yeah, well, yeah. They go in, sit down. Jobs is not a big sports fan, but is interested in this because they're now going to think about buying an ad during the Super Bowl. And says, tell me about it. Steig says, well, we're looking for somebody to buy 80,000 seat cushions for the Super Bowl game, and we're wondering if you'd want to pay for them in exchange for publicity. Jobs asks him, can I put an Apple logo on each one of those seat cushions? Steig says, yeah. Jobs says, done. They do the deal. Those seat cushions, if you still have them, they're collector's items, and they sell for quite a bit of money on eBay. The other thing was, this was the first Super Bowl because before the Super Bowl, there were no like corporate tents or hospitality outside the stadium, but because the game was at Palo Alto and the people were staying at San Francisco, many of them, they wanted to get people down there early to avoid traffic jams, and they needed something for them to do. So they told these companies if they wanted to build hospitality tents, they could, and that's what happened. And to this day, if you go to Super Bowl, the corporate tents overwhelm everything. The 49ers know they need to get better, though. Even after they win the Super Bowl, they draft this guy, Jerry Rice. Are we going?
We can cut a little bit more into Q&A if you have just a little bit more to
Let me breeze through real quick, okay? Okay, thank you. Why am I not advancing here? What did I do wrong? Did somebody stop? Oh, there we go. Okay, I won't go, okay, Steve and Joe, we all remember that. I have funny stories about that. Anybody remember the bad logo? I also, the cheerleader is Terry Hatcher, the actress. She was a Gold Rush cheerleader. I wanted to do that. We do this. Eddie gets in trouble, goes to the Yorks. Local guy Jeff Garcia becomes quarterback. There's this. Interestingly, Colin Kaepernick still can't get a job because of his protest. Tommy Smith on the right, you know, his statue's right over here. After that really controversial protest, he played in the NFL. It shows you, I don't know what it tells you about the way the politics are today, but interesting that Smith got a job after that, but Kaepernick couldn't. There's Levi's Stadium, story about that, our new guys. And this I wanted to finally end up, the book goes through last year. Anybody remember that crazy catch that Brandon Ayuk made in the NFC title game? He juggles the pass, you know, finally gets it. Afterwards he said, I knew I was going to make a great play today because during warm-ups, a ladybug landed on my shoe. And that was good luck. So I told my collaborator, Jeff Cease, we got to find a picture of that ladybug. And he did. This is the actual ladybug that landed on his shoe, and we have a photo of it. You don't think so? Prove me wrong. Prove me that's not the actual ladybug. Okay. These are the last pictures in the book. Just an example of the pictures we have in the book. And that's, now, did I do okay? You did great. Okay. Hope you learned a little bit and had some fun with that. I'll take questions.
Yes, please do. I think we've got Ryan Sebastian with the microphone. It looks like Fernando's the first one to stand up. We could probably do 2 questions, maybe 3.
Thanks, Mark. That was fabulous. Do you know who handled the purchase and sale of the Morabito family to the DiBartolo family?
Yes, 2 guys, but the one everybody probably remembers most is Al Davis. When the Morabito widows were wanting to sell the team, they were asking around who can help us do this. Al Davis, who was with the Raiders, of course, held up his hand and said, I can help you do this. And Davis also knew the DiBartolos through a guy named Joe Thomas, who was friends with Edward DiBartolo Sr., and they made the deal. Are you thinking of somebody else, like a legal person? Yes. Who do? Ed Alvarez was part of Davis's, yeah, he was part of Davis's legal team, right? Another local person, but another San Jose connection, yeah.
Dan Orloff.
So Mark, just expanding on Bob St. Clair, he had a liquor store at Westlake Shopping Center in Daly City next to my family's paint and wallpaper store. He was also mayor of Daly City.
And a county supervisor later.
And he would arrange for buses to pick fans up in front of Bob St. Clair Liquors and take them to, and just to add to that little connection, my grandfather, owner of that store, was president of the Daly City Rotary Club.
Oh, it all ties together.
Great. Let's
Did
do
he
one
ever
more.
Did he ever drink raw blood in front of you guys? No.
Nobody was very tall.
Yes. Yeah.
One last question. Anybody got a last question? All righty. Carl Salas, please. You'll have the final question. Wait,
Yeah.
when I give you a microphone, and why I insist on that is because people on Zoom can hear the feed.
Mark, I've been out of town for 3 nights, and the Sharks won 2 games while I was gone. What happened?
You left town for 2 nights. I don't know. I was there last night, and I think it's going to be a more fun year. I don't know how many more games they're going to win than they did last year, but it's going to be a more fun year. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I think
Hey,
we're
thank you very much for letting me talk about it. I have some books to sell and sign, but I don't have many. So you can go to Amazon and order it if you want. That's it. That's my
Oh, wait,
plug.
wait.
Thanks.
Before you skedaddle, we're going to do a little photo here. A gift has been made in your name to the Dancing Cat Lounge here in San Jose.
Thanks.
And I'm going to read some about that. The Dancing Cat, this is a new one for us. For the previous quarter, it was the Trash Punks, and now we're going to switch over to San Jose's famous cat cafe, the Cat Lounge, right here in downtown San Jose. And they provide a cage-free lounge environment for previously homeless adult cats. And you can go down there and make an appointment, hang out with those kitties. Like if your partner is terribly allergic and you can't get a cat, for example, that might apply to some people in this room. All right, Dancing Cat Lounge. And let's grab a photo.
Thanks.
Yeah. for you too. I'm an agricultural nerd. These are premium Chandler walnuts. All righty. Wonderful program. Thank you so much, program committee. Next week, Larry Gersten. What a fan favorite. Election results. You know, that's why we've arranged for Bert George to bring us some Wine Wednesday next week. We also have the Red Badge doing greeting line. We are going to focus on all the positive and mission-driven things that we do here in the Rotary Club. We are going to have a blast next week. We also have musicians from Peru highlighting our water project in Peru. We're very excited about that. I just have a couple of, oh, we've even got a little wine reception. Isn't that fantastic? I already got that. For final thoughts, I wanted to share with the group that last week I did a quarterly progress and pizza update with all of our committee chairs and co-chairs. That seemed to be a big hit, and we got to just provide so much information and got all the committee chairs to get to know each other. And there's a lot of flipping of like flyers going by my screen right now. That's why I'm kind of freaking out. Anyway, so I want to mention the barbecue had the highest attendance we've had in a long time. Thank you, executive chefs. That was a huge accomplishment. I've got like, arms up in the back. Fantastic. Yeah. Membership brought in 24 new members in one quarter. Sarju and Karen Fox. My goodness. Military care, saving the Veterans Day Parade, no big deal. We had so many accomplishments in first quarter, so look forward to that during the second quarter, Pizza in Progress. Thank you so much for your leadership. I wanted to put this slide back up on there. I think it got just too little time, which is the QR code for polio. Not everyone was in the room last week, so remember, every Rotarian, every year, if you can use that QR code or write a check with our office, and we'll get everyone in the room supporting the eradication of polio. Thank you so much for all of your energy in the room, and we will see you next week. We are adjourned.